Hello, welcome to the European Open Briefing for Tuesday, July the 25th. I'm Rafi Barajan, currency analyst at xm.com, and we're going to be looking at the latest developments in the currency markets today. So the dollar managed to rebound yesterday a little bit from its lows, although this morning it is reversing those gains. The dollar index is actually at a fresh one-year low. We have the Fed policy meeting starting later in the day, so that has created a bit of cautiousness in the markets. But we do also have some risk aversion due to the ongoing developments with the Trump-Russia probe in the United States. In other currencies, the euro, the pound, Aussie are a little bit firmer against their US counterpart this morning, while all prices are extending their gains following those that sharp rally yesterday after OPEC announced some fresh moves to curb supply. That also helped the Canadian dollar hit a new 14-month high against the US dollar. But let's start now with what's happening with the dollar. We can see in purple in the chart here the dollar index. It did touch a fresh 13-month low. Yesterday it had just made another one and it just fell below that level earlier today at 93.81. Dollar yen is doing a little bit better, although it had hit a five-week low yesterday. It's currently trading just below the 111 level. We have the Fed meeting coming up. It starts today. We will hear the announcement tomorrow. There's pretty much no chance of a rate hike at tomorrow's announcement, but the Fed may signal that they may give a clearer signal that they will announce in September the start of the balance sheet reduction plan. While yesterday we did have fairly positive PMI data out of the United States, the market manufacturing services PMIs, both of them came in above expectations, so that did provide the dollar a bit of a boost late yesterday and early this morning before we saw that reversal to back down again. But on the whole, though, the ongoing developments with the White House, what we're seeing we actually saw Donald Trump's son-in-law appearing before a Senate committee yesterday, and he will appear before a House committee later today. His son, Donald Trump Jr., will also be quizzed by US lawmakers. So all of that is basically creating some nervousness in the markets. Moving on to European currencies, the euro having made a fresh two-year high early yesterday. It did dip down after disappointing PMI numbers out of the Eurozone. The flash PMI readings for the Eurozone, including France and Germany, missed expectations. Although this morning we are seeing a bit of a boost from better than expected German IFO business surveys. So overall, though, the euro has managed to not to stray too far from yesterday's two-year highs. The pound, on the other hand, it did recover back above the 1.30 level yesterday and has managed to hold above that level since. We do have the UK Trade Minister currently in the United States trying to set up the groundwork for bilateral trade agreement between the UK and the US once the UK is out of the EU. We also had Liam Fox, the Trade Minister, saying that he now is in favor of having a transition deal. So that has been broadly positive for sterling, although on the whole, I guess you would say the dollar weakness is also helping the pound, as the UK currency remains very vulnerable to what's happening with Brexit negotiations. Moving now on to the antibody currencies, the two have also been boosted by the weaker dollar. The Aussie, on the other hand, although it did reach a two-year high last week, it hasn't managed to come close enough to test that level since. We are seeing rising iron ore prices, so that could help Aussie break above those two-year highs it saw last week. Of course, the Aussie came under pressure on Friday after the RBA Deputy Governor Guy Debelle made some very dovish remarks, saying that the strong exchange rate is not something that the RBA wants to see. We do have Australian inflation data being released tomorrow, so that could also influence at which direction the the Australian dollar will go next. And looking at the New Zealand dollar, it's currently trading near Friday's 10-month highs of 0.7459. So that's another currency looking very bullish against the US dollar. Let's have a look at oil prices now, because yesterday we did have an OPEC and non-OPEC meeting in St. Petersburg, Russia. And they did kind of surprise the markets, because Saudi Arabia said that it will limit its August exports at 6.6 million barrels per day. This would represent over a million barrels reduction from a year ago. There have been some doubts about OPEC compliance, but OPEC did try to put up a united front yesterday. They also said that Nigeria would join the production deal once its output reaches 1.8 million barrels per day from the current 1.7 million. Although Libya is for the time being will still be exempt from the deal. We saw a sharp reversal from yesterday's 1.5 week lows. The US crude is currently trading at around $46.60 a barrel. And we can see the Canadian dollar has been firming against its US counterpart. Yesterday it hit another 14-month high of 1.2482. We also had strong wholesale trade data out of Canada yesterday. We saw a bigger than expected increase in wholesale trade, so that also further boosted the loonie. Looking at today's economic calendar, we did have German import prices released a short while ago. They fell by more than expected in June, but we can see here that very strong IFO data, the Business Climate Index, and the Current Conditions Index, as well as the IFO expectations indices, all of which are up from the prior months and well above expectations. So that explains the Euro's gains at the moment. We've got in the United States the Case-Shiller House Price Index, as well as the Consumer Confidence Index for July, as well as a speech by the Bank of England Chief Economist Andy Haldane. He's due to speak at 17 hours GMT. That's it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.